Welcome back, Triple F Squad, to another episode of Two Fools in Fantasy Football. I am the ever-present Marty McFly, and with me always is Tyler, the uncool fool Greer, sitting right over here. On today's episode, we are going to discuss the top 5 quarterbacks, top 10 running backs, top 10 receivers, and the top 5 tight ends, strictly based on matchups for PPR leagues. Who you should start, who you shouldn't. So strictly based on their matchups against last year's defenses, last year's ranked defenses, pardon me. Tyler?
Cool. Thank you, Marty. Right now, we're going to go into the guys who are going to have the best weeks for the quarterbacks. Remember, this is strictly PPR only. So right now, we're going to kick it off with number 5 this week, who's going to have the best matchup, who's going to have the best quarterback in fantasy football based on the matchup. And that's going to be Ryan Tannehill, the greatest quarterback that the Tennessee Titans are going to have in the year 2020. Because he was. But Ryan Tannehill is going to have a great game on Sunday. They're playing a very weak defense in the Arizona Cardinals. Last year, Patrick Peterson signed with Minnesota, who was their best defensive back, cornerback, best guy that they had. They still have Budda Baker, but at the end of the day, when it comes to one-on-one coverage, you got Julio Jones, you got A.J. Brown, you got all the weapons you need. They're going to have a huge game. It's going to be a high-scoring game, so look for Ryan Tannehill to have a great game. Number 4 on our list of guys who are absolutely going to crush it this weekend is going to be the quarterback from the most hated team, the Philadelphia Eagles, and Jalen Hurts. This week, I don't want to say he's got a cakewalk matchup, but if you are having your first start in the NFL for the year 2021, I don't think you can get a much better defense to go against than the Atlanta Falcons. Last year, other than the Cowboys, they were last in statistics in just about every single category. So Jalen Hurts is our number 4. Our number 3 this week is going to be Patty Mahomes. I'm sorry, number 3 this week, I apologize, is going to be Patty Mahomes, Mr. Everything for the Kansas City Chiefs. This week, why he's rated number 3, just because the fact is Cleveland does have a very nice defense from top to bottom. They made a couple of great signings this offseason. That's going to make a huge difference for them. They're going to try and run the ball more with Kansas City. So what that means is you might see more Elaire this weekend and maybe a little less Mahomes. Remember, Mahomes played in the Super Bowl basically on one leg. So they're going to try to protect their franchise quarterback, upgrade the whole offensive line. So we'll see what happens. Number 2 this week is going to be Kyler Murray from the Arizona Cardinals. They're going up against the Tennessee Titans. The reason why we have it this way is because this game is going to be high scoring. So that being said, high scoring, lots of points, lots of touchdowns. I'm just going to go on a prediction here. I think Kyler Murray is going to get 3 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground at least. I think they're going to have at least 28 points. I think Tennessee is going to score around 35 points. I don't think I'm going to be too far off on that, but we'll see at the end of the day. So let me know what you think about that, Triple F Squad. And the number 1 quarterback for the week is going to be the guy who's going to be playing on Monday Night Football. And no, we're not talking about Derek Carr. Sorry. We're talking about Lamar Jackson. He will be the number 1 quarterback as of this week based on the matchup for the Raiders. The Raiders have a pretty tumultuous defense. They're not very good. They don't stop anybody. Lamar Jackson lost not 1, not 2, but 3 running backs this season so far. So that being said, look for Lamar to run the ball more. Look for him to get the more points by rushing this year than he's ever had before. And also to look for their passing game to be a huge factor this year. So they want to get Lamar involved on both aspects of the game. This is the perfect time to get his passing better, get him stepping up in the pocket more, running. So you're going to see a complete package, a complete game from Lamar Jackson. So as they say, go Ravens go, because Lamar Jackson is going to take you to the fantasy promised land in week 1. So if you got him, good job, boys. Good job. So now my esteemed colleague over here, Mr. McFly, is going to talk about the top 10 running backs this week based on matchup for PPR points. Marty, take it away.
Before we go to the running backs, I want to add another one that we have in our top 10, not the top 5, but it's going to be Sam Darnold. Carolina going back up against the Jets, revenge game. The Jets secondary is roughly 3 rookies in the secondary back there. I think that he is going to throw all over the place with the speedy guys. We got DJ Moore. Who's the other guy they got?
Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson. They're going to be all over the place, and even CMC is going to be running past them too. So look for Sam Darnold to have a pretty good game, revenge game back against the Jets. So
Hey, fun fact about Sam Darnold and Run CMC. So Christian McCaffrey played for Stanford and Sam Darnold played for USC. So they hated each other in college, but now they're going to be best friends in the pros because Christian McCaffrey is going to get Sam Darnold about an extra 100 points this year in fantasy football.
Now they're BFFs.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, Tyler. Now on to the running backs. Top 10 for this week, purely based on matchups. Number 10, we're going to start with Mr. Montgomery from the Bears going up against the LA Rams. The Bears. Now, the LA Rams, they still have the beast incarnate,
Aaron
Darnold.
Yep.
Yeah, I almost said Sam Darnold again, but that's not him. Aaron Darnold's filling up the middle there. So their run defense isn't that great, but I think David Montgomery will have a decent game against them. I mean, when you got Andy Dalton as your quarterback, you can't go wrong. We should have put him in the top 5, I think.
No. I mean, if you want to say the bottom 5, sure, because he's going to play the first half this year, and after that, they're going to put Fields in because the whole crowd's going to unanimously boo. I mean, not in LA, but they'll boo in Chicago after the first half. It's gonna be a nightmare.
And they'll hear it. They'll hear it in LA.
Probably.
All right. On to number 9, we got Raheem Mostert for the Niners. Is bad. It's bad. So look for Mostert to have, I'm going to say, at least 95 to 105 and maybe a pair of touchdowns against the defense against Detroit this week. Number 8, we're going to go Antonio Gibson, Washington versus the Chargers. Chargers are all worried about Eckler right now, so they're not really focused on their defense. Is that in LA also?
No, so the Chicago game, the Chicago and Rams are Sunday night, I believe.
At the Rams.
And that's at the Rams.
Washington. Okay, gotcha.
Yep. And the LA Chargers, I believe, fly to Washington for an East Coast game.
Okay. Which is unusual too.
Yeah, opening week. Good luck with that.
Yeah. So anyway, look for Antonio Gibson to have a decent game against the Chargers. Number 7, we got Miles Sanders for the Philadelphia Eagles going against Atlanta. Yeah, said it. Just like we were talking about. What?
I love the week 1 matchup, bird versus bird.
Yeah, bird versus bird. Yeah, give him the bird.
I bet the bird's
just
gonna
like
win.
We said, I bet a bird will win. Yeah, I think so. Just like Tyler was talking about, Jalen Hurts going up against having a great game against Atlanta. Miles Sanders is going to have just as good of a game.
Yeah,
like we said, they're the lowest stat-wise last year, so Miles Sanders will be running all over the place. Number 6, Mr. James Robinson, Jacksonville, going against Houston. Houston is just a dumpster fire right now with all the Deshaun Watson stuff going on. They lost J.J. Watt. They don't have Clowney anymore, which I know they haven't had Clowney in a couple of years, but still, the defense is not good.
2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
They traded him to Seattle. Well, they traded him to Seattle. I can't remember if it was 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I think it was 3.
I think it was 3.
I think so too.
Anyway, look for James Robinson to have a good game this week against Houston. And we didn't talk about it in the quarterbacks, but look for Trevor Lawrence to have a good coming out party against Houston this week too.
Yep, absolutely.
On number 5, we got AK-41, Alvin Kamara. New Orleans going up against Green Bay. In New Orleans, Alvin Kamara's first season without Drew Brees at the helm. Does have Winston. I think Winston's going to be better than most people think he's going to do. Of course, he is no Drew Brees, but look for Alvin Kamara to have a decent game as well against Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
On to number 4.
One note on that, Marty. That game's actually being played in Jacksonville, so it's gonna be. I'm a Florida
that's right,
resident.
because-
It's slightly humid out here right now, so tomorrow's gonna be a very humid game for both those teams. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how both those teams react to the humidity out here in Florida. It's bad right
I
now.
forgot that the game got moved because of the
Hurricane.
hurricane. All right. Now, on to number 4, we have Mr. Taylor from the Colts going up against Seattle. Now, we got Mr. Taylor running behind possibly the best offensive line in the NFL this year.
Number one,
So,
for sure.
number 1. I know.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. In my mind, absolutely no doubt.
I mean, he does have an idiot for a quarterback in Wentz, but don't hold that against Mr. Taylor. So look for him to have a decent game. I mean, Seattle still has a good, nice front seven, but look for Taylor to, I would say maybe 110, 120,
That's fair.
and at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I think Taylor's gonna be rocking 150 overall yards this week. Yeah.
That's a good one. Number 3, we're going with the new beast mode, Mr. Henry for the Tennessee Titans going up against Arizona. Just talked about him in the quarterbacks. Talked about Tannehill and Kyler Murray. This is going to be a high-scoring game. Henry will be shoving people all over the place in this game. Look for him, maybe 170 all-purpose and at least 2 TDs.
Whoa, that's pretty
At
big.
least 2 TDs.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, at least 2 TDs against Arizona.
Wow. All right.
Number two, too many cooks in the kitchen. Mr. Delvin Cook for the Minnesota Vikings going up against Cincy.
Ooh, Cincy.
I don't know. I just think Cincy's not, their front seven is not good. I mean,
No, they're not.
so
Their defense in general is got a lot of holes in it. So, but having the talent that Cook has and everything he can do, they're going to put the ball in his hands in so many different ways. And just kind of a spoiler alert, we have more Minnesota Vikings in the top polls for their respective positions later on in this video too, as well. Just saying.
And number 1, of course, is Ezekiel Elliott going up against the Bucks. No. Sorry.
No. Sorry, that's the wrong night, Marty. That was Thursday. Zeke only had like 11 carries the whole game. So
right, which I don't hold it against him. He's going against the best defensive line in football. So
yeah.
Anyway,
Well, second best.
Of course, it's CMC. We got Christian McCaffrey, Carolina going up against the Jets. Just like Sam Darnold's going to have a good game. Christian McCaffrey's going to have a monster game as well. I mean, it's the Jets. Remember.
What I'm predicting is that I think Christian McCaffrey is going to line up in the backfield and he's going to do a couple of slot. He's going to line up in the slot for the receiver a couple times. And I'm going to predict this. I'm going to actually, I'm going to go Paul Heyman style. I'm going to say a spoiler alert. Spoiler. I'm going to go Paul Heyman. I am going to go all in. I think he's going to have 3 catches from the slot, and I think he's going to take one of them to the house.
Okay. All right. I'll get with you on that one.
So that is not a prediction.
Okay.
That is a spoiler.
Spoiler alert. Okay. Nicely done.
Thank you, sir.
All right. And that is week 1 for the RBs, running backs based on matchups. Now I'm going to throw it over to my main man, Tyler, to talk about the receivers.
All right, Marty. Thank you so much for that, man. I really appreciate it. So those are the top running backs that we are going to have this week for the top 10. So you're going to love it. They're going to get you tons of points if you got them. Play them. This is just based off of matchups from defenses last year. Obviously, now is this going to be perfect? No, but it's a pretty good guess what we think what's going to happen. All right. So now we're going to talk about the top 10 wide receivers for week 1 for PPR. Now coming in at number 10, and again, we've talked about this game so many times. It's going to be DJ Moore, wide receiver, Carolina Panthers. Need I say more? New York Jets, young secondary, DJ Moore, best receiver in the group. Okay, next guy. Number 9, Julio Jones, Tennessee versus Arizona. He was the big acquisition this year for Tennessee. He is the last link to that offense. They had Corey Davis. They now have Julio Jones. Julio Jones is better. Arizona's worse. Arizona is going to give up probably 400 passing yards to Ryan Tannehill. Marty said 170 yards rushing to their friggin' D train, Derrick Henry. So in case you can't figure out, we think Arizona basically sucks on defense this year. Next guy we're going to talk about, number 8 for the PPR is DK Metcalf, the stud in the Northwest. This guy is unbelievable. Number 1 receiver all day long. Russ's best friend. If Russ had an assistant cooking in the kitchen, it would be DK. DK this week, they're going against the Indianapolis Colts. He's a little bit lower on the rankings just because the Colts have a really good defense. Russ is going to probably struggle a little bit in this game, but that's okay. DK will not. Put him in, play him with confidence, let him go. Number 7, we're going to talk about. This guy last year took the fantasy football world by storm. We're talking about Stephon Diggs, the man who owns Buffalo right now. This guy can catch anything, and he proved it last year. We have him down a little bit. He plays a very good defense in Pittsburgh. They got some good cornerbacks, but we do have him rated as number 7. Again, they have an elite quarterback. Josh Allen has all the talent you'd want in a quarterback. He can run. He can throw. I mean, if you didn't see his throw the other day to Davis, it was a missile. He threw that thing about 35 yards on a line. That thing did not leave 8 feet from the air. The dude has a hose. Next guy we're going to talk about is the best wide receiver in the NFL. He is Devontae Adams. This dude is an absolute legend. He is a Hall of Famer. Soak it in, soak it up. It's going to be his last year with Rodgers until he's a free agent, and he's going to make that cash money. That's what I'm saying. He's probably going to take his talents to Vegas. He already talked about it. He wants to hook up with Derek Carr, his old QB in Fresno. And last time I checked, the Raiders don't have too many good wide receivers over there. Anyways, this week, Green Bay plays New Orleans at Jacksonville. Now, the only thing that kind of sucks is the Saints kind of have a good cornerback in Marshawn Lattimore when he plays and his head's on right. He's going to go up against Devontae Adams all game long. What that's going to do, it's probably going to hinder him a little bit on that. That's why Devontae Adams ranked 6th and not higher. Most weeks, Devontae Adams is going to be in our top 4, top 3, top 2, top 1. But this week, just a little bit lower just because he plays a very good cornerback this week. The next guy we're going to talk about, Mr. All-World, all-speed, all day, get me those TDs. Tyreek, I got the best quarterback in the league. Throw me bombs all day long. Patrick Mahomes. Tyreek Hill is our number 5 this week. I got my buddy cracking up over there because I'm just throwing this off the top of my head because I'm having fun with this. Tyreek Hill is going to get you massive amount of points. They are playing the Cleveland Dog Pound Browns. But you know what? It doesn't matter because nobody can stop Tyreek Hill. I'm sorry. Ain't nobody covering him. Ain't nobody stopping him. He's going to get at least one bomb this week for a touchdown. That's why he's ranked our number 5th running back for the week. Number 4, this man had the most outstanding rookie year last year, almost of all time, other than this guy by the name of Randy Moss. We're talking about Double J, Justin Jefferson for the Minnesota Vikings. He is number 4 this week. Again, they are playing a very, very, very weak defense in the Cincinnati Bengals. Justin Jefferson has all the elite tools to be an elite wide receiver in this league. This week, we've got him rated number 4 because he's going to absolutely tear the Bengals up. Oh, and by the way, we got Kirk Cousins in the top 10 for the quarterbacks this week, too, as well, in case you're looking for a sneaky play. All right. Number 3, we are talking about the man who is the number one receiver in Atlanta, Calvin Ridley. If you have not seen this guy play, this guy is unbelievable. He might have the best feet in the NFL. He's going to absolutely terrorize Philly this week. With that being said, he is our number 3 receiver on our board this week. Number 2, coming in again from shocker, Tennessee, because we think that game is going to be a slobber knocker. We're talking about the good, the bad man, A.J. Brown. This cat is going to score. He is going to catch. He's going to have tons of yak this week. That's why he's rated number 2 on our wide receivers for Tennessee playing Arizona and the team that has no cornerbacks. Number 1, from the same game, believe it or not. So we have Julio Jones, we have A.J. Brown, and we have DeAndre Hopkins as the number 1 wide receiver this week. So we got 3 receivers from one game that we think are going to be in the top 10 this week. Why?
Here's why.
Because none of these guys are going to be covered. And that's why between Kyler Murray being number 2 on our quarterbacks this week and D-Hop will be number 1 for the wide receivers this week, look for D-Hop to get 13 catches, 160 yards, and 2 touchdowns this week as the number 1 wide receiver for the Fools of Fantasy Football. And now I'm going to take it to my partner in crime, Marty McFly over here. And he's going to tell you about the top 5 tight ends this week. Marty, take it away.
Thank you, Tyler, for that awesome introduction. You're quite the man. All right, I have changed my background to the lovely American flag, 9/11. Never forget. Coming in at number 5, we've got the man who ain't so brittle, George Kittle in San Fran going against Detroit. I know, rhyme time.
Oh, crap.
Bringing up my old Blues Clues days, you know what I mean? Going against Detroit. Detroit, not good. Kittle, good. Detroit, not good. Now, we're going to go over to the Raiders. He's a baller. Call him Darren Waller. Going up against the Ravens defense. The Raiders versus the Ravens. Coming in number 3, he's definitely not the Pitts. It's Mr. Pitts, the rookie out of Atlanta, going up against Philadelphia.
Hey,
Yep.
That's not
Again.
nice.
Well, I don't like them, so I don't care. So look for Pitts to have a great game against Philly. Number 1, hey, M.A., Mark Andrews.
Actually, number 2.
I'm sorry, number 2. I
Okay.
apologize. Number
Got it.
2. It's Mark Andrews from the Ravens versus the Raiders. So go with both tight ends, Waller and Andrews, in this game. You'll get lots of points. Trust us. And now, on to number 1, the touchdown king, TK, Travis Kelce, out of Kansas City, going up against the Browns. Travis Kelce going against the Browns. He's Travis Kelce. Got Patty Mahomes throwing to him. What else is there to think about?
Nothing.
And so those are the top 5 tight ends for this week. PPR based on matchups. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for joining us on this episode of Two Fools of Fantasy Football. As always, don't forget to like,
Full 1.
share,
Full 1.
subscribe.
Full 2. Full 1. Full 2.
That's right. Subscribe, like, share, tell your friends, tell your kids, tell your wife. Watch us. Tyler, anything else?
No.
I like it. All right, guys. Till next time. Take care.
Thank you all so much for watching us. Please like, subscribe, share, and add the Two Fools in Fantasy Football for all your fantasy advice. We are going to put out a lot more videos this year. We're going to be kicking some, and y'all enjoy everything to your ride to the top of your league, win your championship, and make the rest of your league mates jealous. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your night. I'm Tyler, the uncool fool Greer, and that is
Marty McFly. Peace.
we are out.